What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another drum lesson. Today, we're going to dive into a couple licks by the very talented musician Brian Blade. Yes, many of you drummers know him as a phenomenal jazz musician, but this guy can sing, he can play guitar, he can play any style of music at a very high level. In my opinion, he's one of the most talented musicians currently on the planet. So, even if you're not into his stuff, whether it's jazz, R&B, folk, whatever he's playing, check him out because you're going to get something out of it. He's played with amazing musicians such as Wayne Shorter, Chick Corea, Nora Jones, Joni Mitchell. And today, we're going to dive into a track by saxophonist Joshua Redman, and we're going to take a look at this drum solo on the tune Jazz Crimes at the end of the tune where Brian plays over a 4-bar vamp. And this comes off of Joshua's album Elastic, which was released in 2002. So let's get started. All right, so for today's lesson, I've selected 3 of my favorite licks from this solo that Brian does at the end of Jazz Crimes. And let's put the first one up here. Now, as you can see, it doesn't really look like a solo. It looks more like a groove. But this is a perfect example of how Brian musically plays with the vamp and does what I call a groove-based solo, okay? Where he's not playing a bunch of licks, but he's playing more of a groove, and he's playing around the hits of the vamp. And this has a really cool James Brown displaced backbeat influence, okay? So he's pretty much using hi-hat, snare, kick, ghost notes, and it's only in bar 4 that he branches off the groove solo and plays a fill at the end of this 4-bar phrase. So I'm going to walk you through it slowly. I'm going to play it and count it, and then I'm going to play the phrase at tempo. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, E, and a 3, a 4, E, and 1, and 2, E, and a 3, and 4, E, and a 1, and 2, E, and a 3, E, and a 4, and 1, E, and a 2, E, and a 3, E, and 4, and. Now, it's really important that you start working on this stuff really slowly with a metronome and work on your timing. I think harder than the actual notes are feeling the spaces with the 8th rest, the 16th rest, and make sure you strive to make a difference between the accented snare notes and the ghost notes. Okay, so now let's take a look at this 4-bar phrase at tempo. All right, so for lick number 2, I've selected a 2-bar phrase here where Brian takes a minimalistic approach. What I mean by that is he's simply using kick, snare, crash, and the bell of a ride, okay? So the 3 things to look for here is he's got a conversation happening between the snare drum and the kick drum, okay? He's playing some accents on the crash, and then Brian's use of the bell in any style of music he's playing is so creative and musical that you really need to check it out. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly play the conversation that's occurring between the snare and the kick. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, E, and a 1, and 2, E, a 3, and a 4, E, and a 1, E, and a 2, E, and a 3, E, and 4, E, and. Okay, so now we're going to play on the bell of the ride, and then there's going to be some crash cymbals that he plays here that are notated by just the X, and the bell is obviously the triangle. Okay, here we go. Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, E, a 3, and a 4, E, and a 1, E, and a 2, E, and a 3, E, and 4, E, and. Okay, and now we finally arrive at phrase 3, which I really like because this is where he really lets loose. It's towards the end of the tune, and he's using the whole kit, and he's actually doing some nice over the bar line things as well as utilizing rudiments such as the 5-stroke roll. So let's break this down really slow because this is fairly advanced. Okay, here we go. So if you take a look at the music, we're going to go nice and slow. Now, the cool thing about this is if you take a look at the end of the first measure I played, he's actually going over the bar line with that sextuplet idea off of 4. So check this out. This is the end or beat 4 of that first bar I just played. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the end of 1 is an and. See how that carries over to bar 2? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Shortly thereafter, he utilizes this 5-stroke roll idea. So if you look at measure 2, he's got off of beat 2, 2E and 3. And then that 5-stroke roll continues on into the next measure, and he's playing that over the bar line. So if I start on beat 2, 1 and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. So it goes through bar 1 of the last measure. Okay, so now let's take a look at this killer phrase at tempo. All right, and that brings us to the end of today's lesson. I really hope you guys got something out of this, even if it's something little. Hope you learned something. Hope you can integrate this into your own playing. And if you liked the video, if you got something out of it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Please feel free to leave me a comment on this video or any other video. And if you get a chance, hit that like button. Okay? I'll see you guys all on the next video. And to play you out, I'm going to put up some of Brian Blade's solo over the tune Jazz Crimes. Enjoy.